Passion doesn't sell on Amazon. What actually sells on Amazon are books with topics that people really want, need, and are willing to pay money for. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm Karina. I've helped thousands of students publish their best-selling books and created a coaching business that helps experts, coaches, consultants, and publishers hit their best-selling status and create real assets on Amazon. Okay, let's dive in. Today we're going to discuss what is an actual topic, why it matters, and why it is so important for you to have it. So why passion alone isn't enough? Let's dive in. You can be totally passionate about a topic nobody is searching for. I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you've looked for something on Amazon and it's not there. There is a reason for it. And the reason is that particular topic doesn't sell on Amazon. Passion doesn't create buyers. Now, there are nuances to this because as I work with consultants, and coaches, many times they have a business and their idea, their topic is directly connected to their business. And in my program, I actually help them figure out how to create a topic from a passion that sells. Okay, so that's a completely different thing, and we can make that happen. But generally, passion will not sell your book. Many authors write for themselves, okay, instead of writing for the market. Amazon is the market, and it wants a solution. In nonfiction, I want you to remember that you are an educator, which means you will always be teaching people something. So people go to Amazon for two specific reasons. Either they want to learn something new or they need to get rid of a pain, right? Our books address both. And we want to make sure that we address that correctly. Passion helps you finish the book, but it doesn't guarantee sales after publishing. And this is why close to 7% of publishers out there don't actually make a cent with their book on Amazon. I know that you're passionate, especially if you're a coach or a consultant or you're a business owner and you've been teaching something, maybe educating or on something, or maybe you even have a solution. But if you don't know how to package that solution correctly, all you're doing is you're just creating words on paper, and Amazon's algorithm will never be able to find it nor push it to your right clientele. So passion alone will not be enough. It's about the packaging, the making sure that everything about your title, your subtitle, your cover is done correctly. And then you have to launch it in a way that Amazon becomes aware of your actual book, okay? So that's one. The second one is market demand, right? It really, really matters because if people are already buying books on a particular topic, it proves that there is money in that niche. It's a edged sword, okay? Because if we have proof that particular topic makes money, that is 100% topic that we need to consider. But we also sometimes can get into a situation where it does sell, we think, because there is a lot of books on that topic. But actually what the market is telling us is that it's just oversaturated now with books on this particular topic. So stick around because I will actually show you an example of this in a little bit so that you have an idea that just because you find that topic on Amazon doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to make money. The second one is, demand gives Amazon data because the more people buy, the more people click, the more they, add those products into their cart, the more Amazon understands, okay, this is the client, this is the book, I need to match them. Because the algorithm, all it's doing, right, all day long is matching people to products, matching people to what they want, matching people to the need. And the more it understands where your book falls into that huge niche of need, the better it can match your client, your customer to the book that you actually are thinking of selling. The third, it's always easier to enter an active market than it is to try to create interest from zero. Now, I've done both, okay? I've entered into a market that already exists, means I have proof that people are going to buy my book because I know I've done my topic research. I figured out, yep, this is the topic people want. There is a demand for it. I've also been in situations with customers and clients where we truly just trailblazed. We did not know if the book was going to sell at all. We didn't have proof necessarily, but we have enough proof through, the work that my client did, the business that they are in, the type of book that they are writing. They knew just because they were consulting that there is definitely a demand, but there just isn't anything available on Amazon yet. So guess what? They publish their books correctly. They follow my process. We go through it together, and the book hits bestseller. Why? Because there is demand we did not know existed. But we need to understand fully how to publish those books as trailblazer books so that when we launch them, they actually hit the #1 bestseller tag. And we create the demand by letting people know a book on this particular topic is now available. So it can be created. It just needs to be created skillfully. Now, the third one is solving a real problem always wins. Friends, take it from me. This is what we do all day long. People buy books to remove pain or to get some kind of a result faster. That's where we live. We are in nonfiction. We are not in fiction, right? So we do not tell stories and entertain people for a living. Sure, we can tell stories in our books. Nothing stops us from doing that. It's called experience. And I love to share from experience. In fact, practically in all of my books, that is what I do. But at the end of the day, what I'm interested in is solving a problem or getting a result from my client. Because when I do that, I get very good reviews, okay? It's obviously clear that problem-solving books are easier to market because the benefit is very clear. When benefits are clear, and this is where designing your book and creating your book in such a way that you are dealing with one benefit rather than having a book where you have so many different things that you're solving, so many different benefits, that it just becomes a mishmash. And the other thing that happens is when we try to create books with a ton of different benefits in them, the book ends up being very long. And the longer the book, the more it cuts into your actual royalty because print costs. You're paying for that. So I don't recommend creating books where you're solving 5 different problems in the same book. I recommend you focus on one. So you see, creating a book with a clear method, with a clear problem-solving solution makes a huge amount of sense. Here's the most important piece. When readers get results, they leave better reviews and they recommend your book. Have you ever bought something on Amazon that absolutely sucked? I know I have. I've even been in situations where I've actually returned that item. And we want to be clear when we do that, because when we create books that actually solve problems, we are so much more likely to really make good money on Amazon. And I never worry. And I know this is almost like an oxymoron because yes, you're creating books to create a, monthly royalties. You really want to create an asset, especially if you are a publisher and you want to create more than one book, or if you're a consultant or a business owner and you really want that book to almost become like a lead magnet, right, into your business. That's exactly what I've done 6 years ago. And I created a 2-month wait list with my book. So you can absolutely do that because it's an asset. And when you create a book the right way, it does become an asset on Amazon. But we also have to make sure that we are actually solving a problem, right? Not solving a problem for a customer is going to earn us some poor reviews. And those, unfortunately, affect our rating with Amazon. So let me show you how I just look at topics on Amazon and how I want you to begin to look at topics to see if any of these topics make sense and why wouldn't they make sense for you to publish. So the first topic that I'm going to look at here very quickly is something that, a customer of mine kind of showed me not long ago. And the topic is forest bathing, right? And I looked at the topic and noticed that I have a little plugin here. It's called BookBeam, and it just gives me a summary of what I may find when I just at a first glance notice that the average estimated sales for this book is only $51. What does that mean? It means that you probably will not make money if you look for a topic like that. Even though this might be something new agey, something that people are really doing right now, you would think, well, wow, this might be something that people really want to buy on Amazon. When we actually look at this topic and we look at the books that are here, we see that they do not sell. I mean, there's just nothing here for us to, grasp and create. I have another topic here that I've looked at, and this one is intermittent fasting for women. Again, great topic about 2 years ago, right? But now if you look at your average estimated sales, you will notice that it's not only not making money, it's actually in the negative, which means, okay, this boat has sailed, right? There's a lot of people that have published books on this topic. Probably the market is saturated. And if I pull up my handy dandy tool here, Katie Spy, and I just have a quick look at this page, I immediately will see that I have pages and pages and pages and pages on books on intermittent fasting. And you notice that there's for women over 50, 60, 40, 70. I mean, people have tried so many different angles, but it doesn't matter what you try anymore. This is not a topic that if you publish now, this topic will not sell. So there are nuances, right? And this is something that we talked about. Yes, there could be a brand new topic that you have that you just haven't looked at yet, or maybe you have, but you're seeing this kind of saturation. That's not something that I would recommend. Have a look. There is a lot of different topics. You need to look around, right? We really need to take time. Or you can actually join my challenge that I'm doing right now, which is you following along as I publish my best-selling book. I'm going to link it below so that you can have a look. This is something that's going to be a lot of fun because I will have actually people going into my community where they can ask questions. We will do this together. So if you've ever kind of thought, well, I'm scared because I don't really know what I'm doing, you're going to get to do it alongside me. Okay? I'm going to be publishing a book and you can do it right alongside me. So if this is something that was always on your mind, you've always wanted to publish, but you haven't had, there's always a little fear, now is the time. Let me link it below. Have a look. Until May 1st, it's on for an early bird price. So grab it. And I'll see you in the next video.